Hello and welcome back to Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? I'm your host, Bruce Randall, here with our contestant Savni. We are only 3 questions away from the $1 million question. And before we get to our $250,000 question, let's get to know our contestant a little better. Savni, how about you tell us about yourself?
Hey guys, I'm Savni Kulkarni. I'm studying material science engineering at Georgia Tech, and I'm really excited to win this $1 million so I can pay off my student loans.
Savni, we are so glad to have you on the show. Now, because you've done so well so far, you can walk away right now with $150,000. Or you can risk it all, double or nothing, for the next question worth $250,000. What are your thoughts?
Well, as a 5th year out-of-state student, I really need this money for tuition and paying off my loans. So you know what? Bring it on. Let's go.
Wow, okay. Well, for this next question and all the questions that follow, they will be about one topic, which also happens to be our sponsor for the night, Graphene Nano Electronics. For your $250,000 question, please direct your attention to this video. The question will be asked after the video ends, so pay close attention.
Okay.
Graphene is a material made up of a single layer of carbon atoms. Graphene can be synthesized through a variety of methods, including exfoliation, chemical vapor deposition, arc discharge, and reduction of graphene oxide. It has many uses in the scientific community and is commonly used for its electrical properties. In recent years, the push for graphene research has been for its use in nanoelectronics. Graphene is the first material to form a perfect crystal in a 2-dimensional structure. Its hexagonal shape allows for a perfectly ordered long-range structure, aiding in its electrical properties. These hexagonal structures are made up of all carbons, each attached by a sigma bond to its neighbor. Because of its 2D shape, there is a single electron left unbonded on each carbon atom within the structure, which is free to move across the structure. In order for electrons to move about freely within the semiconductor structure, they must first have enough energy to move from the valence band to the conduction band. For all semiconductors, there must be a certain amount of energy put into the system before movement of electrons throughout the structure can occur. This is what makes graphene special. Because graphene has 2 atoms per unit cell, the conduction and valence bands are shaped as inverted pairs of cones that meet at a single point of an energy level of 0. This means the energy gap within graphene is 0 and electrons can move easily into the conduction band of the atom. Once these electrons are in the conduction band, the hexagonal shape of the material allows for electron delocalization to occur. These electrons are free to move about the nanotube, and the excess concentration of electrons provides the structure with more stability as well as increasing the potential conductivity.
For $250,000, the question is, which one of these is not a classification of graphene synthesis? A. Exfoliation. B. Chemical vapor deposition. C. Reduction of graphene hydroxide. Or D. Arc discharge.
Well, based off the video, I'm going to go with C. Reduction of graphene hydroxide is not a classification of graphene synthesis, since the correct classification is reduction of graphene oxide, not hydroxide.
Savni's answer is C. Reduction of graphene hydroxide. Savni, is that your final answer?
You know what? I think I trust my Georgia Tech knowledge, so I'm going to go with yes, this is my final answer.
Savni, I'm sorry, but your answer is correct. You have won $250,000 on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. How do you feel?
Oh my god, I feel amazing. This is awesome. Wow.
Now, going forward, remember you still have 2 lifelines left. You can phone a friend, have a FaceTime conversation, or you can use a 50-50 to eliminate 2 wrong answers.
Okay.
Are you ready to move on?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Ready to move on.
Savni, here's the penultimate question. Are you ready?
I was bored.
$500,000 question. Here we go. Which of these materials can be used to achieve rapid vapor sensing response time? Is it A. Titanium, B. Silicon, C. Dihydrogen monoxide, or D. Graphene?
Let's see. It's definitely not option C, because I'm pretty sure dihydrogen monoxide is just water, and water is a pretty bad conductor in its pure form, only obtaining conducting properties when containing dissolved salts. Titanium's also a horrible conductor, so I really doubt it could be used in any kind of sensor. However, I will say I'm a big fan of that song Titanium by David Guetta. She is such a powerful singer. Emotions flow from her words.
Savni, let's get you focus back on the question.
You're right. $500,000 is at stake. I'm just really torn between silicone and graphene.
Well, you still have the 50-50, so you can narrow it down to 2 options. Would you like to do that?
You know what? Might as well. Let's do it. 50-50.
Well, Savni, it looks like you were correct. Both dihydrogen monoxide and titanium were incorrect answers. So now you're down to 2, graphene and silicone. Which one are you going to choose?
Well, let me tell you what I know. Most nanoelectronic sensors in modern use detect vapors through charge density. Binding of molecules to the nanomaterials used in the sensor causes charge transfer between the two, resulting in a change in charge density and ultimately a signal. This process is relatively slow, like on a scale of 10 to hundreds of seconds, and can boast a 50 ppb detection level. In scenarios where extremely rapid detection is needed, these sensors do not cut it. Graphene, however, is an emerging material that has the potential to offer sensor response times as low as 1/10 of a second, which is due to, in part, to its high electron mobility. This response rate can be achieved using a dipole detection-based sensor. This device uses a graphene field effect transistor, which are basically molecules that absorb to the surface and act as an oscillating gate. This oscillating dipole causes a charge density change, and it mixes this current with the supply AC-driven voltage, resulting in a heterodyne current. This new heterodyne current is then measured by a graphene sensor, which, due to its high frequency of the mixer, will give a sub-second response time.
Wow, you really have an understanding of graphene nanoelectronics, huh?
Google Scholar is a wonderful thing.
Well, I believe you've exhausted all the explanation possible for this topic, so have you decided on an answer?
You know, I'm gonna have to go with D, graphene.
D, graphene. Well, Savni, that is the correct answer.
Wow, Bruce, that was a tough one.
It certainly was. You're very lucky to have such a deep understanding of graphene's properties and applications. Anyway, we're trying to give away this money, so I think it's time to earn some back. Here's a word from our sponsor, Graphone.
Has this ever happened to you? Well, looks like you should have invested in a cutting-edge nanographone. The nanographone is a brand new cellular device developed by tech giant Grapple. This phone features a lightning-fast processor, a high-resolution display, and the best durability of any smartphone on the market today. The nanographone is constructed from multiple layers of graphene, the strongest material known to humans. This material makes the nanographone incredibly resistant to drops and high-velocity impacts. Lock yourself out of your apartment after a long night of studying in the cold? Use the nanographone. Didn't study for your soft nanobiomaterials exam? Use the nanographone. So what are you waiting for? Hurry to your nearest Grapple store to pick up a nanographone on the official cellular network of Grapple, Horizon.
What a great phone. I actually picked up a nanograph for myself this weekend. Anyways, welcome back from our commercial break to Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? I can safely say tonight is already a very big night for you, Savni. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight our contestant can walk away with $500,000 or make one of the biggest gambles in television history and go for the final question, a staggering $1 million. Are you ready for that question?
I am so ready for that question.
Great. Question for $1 million. What is considered the best way to characterize graphene using nanoelectronics applications? Is it A, gas chromatography, B, Raman spectroscopy, C, dynamic light scattering, or D, transmission electron microscopy?
You know, would you believe it? I don't know.
Savni, this question is for $1 million. If you miss this question, you walk away from here with absolutely nothing. I'm sorry.
I'd like to FaceTime a friend.
As you wish. Our contestant has chosen to use their last lifeline. Who would you like to FaceTime?
I want to FaceTime an undergraduate TA at Georgia Tech, Sarah.
Okay, well, here you go.
Okay, here we go. Hey Sarah, I need your help. What do you know about characterization methods for graphene-based nanoelectronics?
We should use the process of elimination to answer this question, so we can go ahead and eliminate GC and DLS, they just don't make sense. So we'll look at TEM and Raman spectroscopy. So TEM is very accurate in visualizing graphene layers as it is able to detect single atoms, which is useful in both single and multi-layer graphene. However, TEM images can show any number of dark lines, even for a single layer graphene. So TEM is accurate, but it's very time consuming and it requires sample preparation. So typically it's only used for fundamental studies of graphene. So if we're looking at Raman spectroscopy, it's a vibrational technique that's extremely sensitive to geometric structure and bonding within molecules. So even small differences in geometric structure can lead to significant differences in the observed Raman spectrum of a molecule. The sensitivity to geometric structure is extremely useful for the study of different allotropes of carbon. So Raman spectroscopy is based on inelastic interactions of phonons on the sample and is able to identify the number of layers and measure the doping and quality of potential flakes. Raman results analyzed 3 significant bands of a graphene layer: the D band, the G band, and the 2D band. So the intensity ratio of the G to the 2D modes increases with the number of graphene layers. It's a very useful tool for graphene characterization. Raman spectroscopy is a great tool for characterization of graphene, and in particularly layer thickness. So a few techniques will provide as much information about the structure as graphene samples as Raman spectroscopy, and any lab doing graphene characterization without Raman would be at a significant disadvantage. So it's for this reason that I believe that the best answer is B, Raman spectroscopy.
After this explanation, I think I trust Sarah. She seemed very knowledgeable about this. So you know what? Let's do it. Let's go with B, Raman spectroscopy.
Okay, is that your final answer?
Yes, it is.
Well, you were asked the best characterization technique for graphene-based nanoelectronics, and you used your final lifeline to phone a friend, Sarah. You answered B, Raman spectroscopy, which is the correct answer.
Oh my
Ladies
God.
and gentlemen, 1 and 9, I present you our contestant, a millionaire, Savni. What's the first thing you're going to use the money on?
Well, obviously I'm gonna go buy a nano graphone from Grapple.